We're back with another episode. Welcome back to part 2, ladies and gents. Pimps and players.
Pimps and players, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, y'all. We are part 2. We just didn't want to have like a 2-hour episode because
PTs.
it's much more difficult to edit. So that was one of the reasons why we split it up. As you can see, we're still in the same clothes because, again, this is just part 2. And it's the same day. Anywho, that the Lord has made. Hallelujah. So
let all the earth rejoice.
Absolutely, absolutely. This one may be a little bit shorter, but it's okay.
It's okay. I can lengthen it up. I'll talk real slow.
Well, don't do that. I'm kidding. How has it been at work this past week? We didn't talk about that on part 1.
So here's what I will say. Taking a week off renewed me spiritually in my job.
Okay.
Let me tell you how. I got back to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't hate this job. Like, of all the jobs to have in the world, this is not the worst thing I could ever do.
How many jobs have you had?
This would be technically, legally, if you're asking the IRS, the first one.
Well, okay.
But I just was thinking, like, as frustrated as I get,
yeah,
I truly do have a good time when I'm having a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are very worse jobs that I could have.
Yeah.
I think I needed a week plus some change off to feel that again.
Absolutely.
I also now have a new project. A 28-year-old girl, a heart transplant actually that you and I both saw together when you were at the hospital. I don't think you remember her. I barely remember her. She was 27 when we saw her. She got her heart transplant a year ago. She is now back, septic.
I do remember her.
You do?
I do.
Just centrally cannulated on ECMO now. They just took her leg, BKA.
Oh, Jesus.
Rough time. But I'm like, I needed a project. I feel connected
to make you remember why you want
to make you remember why. Like, this is a good it's a very like spiritually fulfilling job. You do good work, you help people do good things, and like when it's not tainted with like bureaucratic bullshit, it's a very good job.
Yeah.
And I think I needed to be away for a week to realize that.
That's one thing I do honestly miss about being at the bedside. I do miss projects like that because it, like, you can get so lost in the rigmarole of everything and in life, and just coming to work and dealing with stupid stuff that is beyond your control. And sometimes it can seep over into your quality of standard of care, right? And so being able to have stuff like that, it just brings you back and makes you remember your little issue, not that you're negating it or you're forgetting about it or that it invalidates it, but it's a reason to say, you know what, it could always be worse, and I'm glad it's not.
Truly. And so in Peru, the whole time I was climbing a fucking mountain.
Yeah. How often do you do that?
How often do you do that? And then I just kept thinking, like, when it was hard, like, your body is strong and healthy. You're able to do these things. Like, do not take it for granted.
Absolutely.
So coming back, I'm just like, you could be like so much worse. Even like seeing the poverty in Peru. Impoverished people.
But then you say it's so clean there, though.
It is so clean in the cities and like where we were, but to get too much Picchu, you drive through like the smaller towns. So you just see like the shacks and the poverty of these people. They're so happy. And you're like, okay, listen, your life ain't fucking bad.
Yeah.
You have shit that you have to deal with, as everyone does. You have central air. You have a bank account that's positive.
Yeah.
You have a car. You have a job that pays you every 2 weeks. You're okay. So I think that also, I'm just like, it reset. I feel reset. I feel like there was a control Z, control alt delete. The page is refreshed. I feel good. But yeah, the projects do help because you're just like, there's something about seeing someone who's like at their worst and you're like, listen, I know you can't see the potential here, but I can, and we'll get you there.
Absolutely.
And it's very rewarding.
Yeah. You know what I think too, like, me going to Atlanta and just kind of being around my friends, like I have told, you know, my friends this, and even my cousin, we talk about this all the time. Shouts out to my cousin Donna. Being in a city where your main subset of friends are not is one of the most loneliest feelings you can ever feel, right? And going through a pandemic by yourself where you literally have to force yourself not to go see your family because you're working with these positive patients before there was even a vaccine to you know, protect other people, and you having to put yourself on the back burner because, again, you don't want to potentially risk giving your family something or your friend something, is the most loneliest time in my life ever. And like when I went to Atlanta, I was just reminded by us just having girl talk and having conversation that I think this is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned thus far in 2022 is that no one, I'm looking right at this camera. Okay. No one is going to save you but you. That's it. Like, I think we walk around this world, and I had this conversation with my mom too. I was lied to as a kid. I was duped, manipulated. Okay? Like, you go through life and your parents like try to shelter you from certain things because it's a big bad world out there, right? But sometimes they don't teach you they don't prepare you of how to deal with certain things. And because your parents create a cushion for you that's really not real in the real world. And then one day this world slaps you across your fucking face and it makes you realize no one is coming to save you. So you can think about all these, you can let your imagination hurt your feelings if you want to. And you can think, the universe is going to do this. God is going to do that. No one is going to save you but you. So it sparked this kind of like, Monica, no one is going to save you. So you got to do it yourself. You're sick of this. You're sick of that. Do something fucking about it, bitch. Yep. So I literally got two more certifications. I didn't mean to. I mean, I did, but at the same time. So I'm a certified.
So I got more educated.
So I got more educated because I'm trying to move into a particular area. And, I'm a certified Scrum Master now, as well as I have my, I went and got my Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification. And if you're in business, you know what that means. Anyway, but it's just the fact that being in healthcare and having those projects, finding the same level of motivation without having the sick people attached to it.
Yeah. It's so hard.
It's hard.
My job is I won't say it's easy. The motivation to do well at my job is only easy because there's a person attached to it. Another person in a very shitty situation you can physically see.
Absolutely.
But if it was just me looking in a mirror being like, you could be better if you did that. Fuck that.
Exactly.
It's very hard.
And then on top of that, like I see, these videos of like Gen Z and they're like having these breakdowns because they're just like, rent is going up, groceries are going up, gas is going up, everything is going up but my paycheck. And you want me to still exist and live comfortably or at least live, mentally stable? Like, how did y'all do this shit all these years ago? And I'm like, this is how I know we're in a matrix because there's no way. I remember my dad, I asked my dad, I was like, how much did this house cost you? My mom and dad bought their house that my mom still currently lives in 1975. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they paid $75,000 for this house.
Damn.
Right? And so I'm like, well, what kind of jobs did y'all have to afford a 70? Because if you ask me, hey, $75,000 house, I will buy 5 of them bitches right now. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I could afford to buy 5 $75,000 houses. But when you think about even staying on jobs for 30 years and getting a pension, that's a lie.
No one does that.
If I had to stay at the previous hospital that I was at for 30 years.
No.
I would be committed.
Absolutely not.
There's no way.
There's not.
Not underneath that regime.
And even so while we were in South America, I was just thinking, so the price different, like the cost of living.
Yeah.
You would have thought I was like, I made $100,000 plus a year. Yeah. I was living my best life because of the currency rate, the exchange.
Yeah.
So all I could think was, so you're telling me I'm fucking struggling over here, right? Everything's going up, but I could take a remote job making maybe a little less than I do now, live over there at half the fucking price.
Yeah.
And even afford, because I was living like I was 5-star. I don't have to live like that.
Yeah.
Spending even less. I'm like, I hate America.
Yeah, it's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
In a matrix. Like, I know people like joke about this, but I think it's I'm a conspiracy theorist because I love conspiracies. But I do believe that Area 51 does not contain aliens. I really think that it is a way out of the matrix. I do. I just think
that's a good thought.
I think that's why it's so heavily guarded. Like, to me, Area 51 is more heavily guarded than the goddamn Pentagon. Why? Because it's a way out.
You think this is like the Truman Show?
Yes. Absolutely. Like, you can't, because if you look at certain things, okay, Look at how many mass shootings we have had.
Okay.
Right? Look at how many, all the stuff that's going on right now. They're basically redoing the Constitution, redoing amendments that were made, redoing laws from 50 years ago. Why? And then I saw this one video with this guy. He was talking about, and I thought it was very condescending and very disrespectful and distasteful. He was talking about the working class, and he was saying that, my business makes about $500,000 a month. Just doing exactly, just doing Airbnbs. And he was like, but even when my company was doing this, I still had roommates, and the reason why is because I wanted to throw all of my money into investments and trading in 5 days a week in order to have 2 days of rest to do what you want to do. It's really not a life. And I'm like, well, sir, let's take your example into context. First of all, it's not realistic because let's be very clear. You need janitors, okay? You need EVS workers. You need garbage men.
Also, you need
postal
capital
workers
to invest.
Exactly.
And how do I get that? Working a regular ass job.
But you also need waiters and waitresses to give you this supposed life that you want. Because let's say everybody applied and did what you did. Right. And so we're all making $500,000 a month, which is not going to happen. You know why? Somebody has to clean up. Somebody's got to cook.
Make the food.
Somebody's got to give you the experience of what you're looking for in life. So this ideology that everybody has to be this business owner, everybody has to make all of this money, that's not realistic.
Also, not everybody wants that. Some people want to just go to work and make what they need and be fine and come home.
Some people just want to make what they need to be able to survive and have a healthy, happy life, which is not millions of dollars for some people. It is for me. I want millions and millions of dollars. But there are some people who just want to be able to give their children a life, be able to take a vacation maybe once or twice a year.
And that's
but this idea that, just because you work a 9 to 5 that you're somehow less than, like, what the fuck? How did you even afford to be able to even have a company like that? Are you like Trump?
My dad gave me a loan
for $1 million, a small loan for $1 million. What? You're a stepdad.
So do you believe the conspiracy that panda bears aren't real?
No, I believe panda bears are real.
Have you heard about all that?
No.
They believe.
I love pandas.
People think that panda bears aren't real because, like, no one ever really sees a bunch of them. They're super hard to maintain. Like, they're supposed to eat meat, but they don't eat meat. All they eat is bamboo. So their GI tract is fucked up, and the females only have like one period a year, and all this weird stuff about pandas. So people think they're not real.
I mean, cows only eat grass.
Yeah, but supposedly their GI tract is made for meat, but they only eat bamboo, so it messes with their GI tract.
I mean, I don't believe pigeons are real.
Really? You think it's government shit?
Absolutely. They recharge themselves on the power lines.
Huh. Yeah, look into the panda conspiracy. It's very interesting.
Really? I love pandas. They're cute. Like I said, not up close.
You ever seen one in real life?
I have at the zoo.
Or a painted black bear?
No. I've definitely seen a panda before in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cute. Especially all those little videos that they have over in Asia, and they're like, especially when they're the babies. Oh my God, they're the cutest things.
And like the big thing was no one had seen or discovered a panda until like the 60s or something.
No.
It's very strange.
I think there were a lot of pandas over in Asia.
They showed up.
Probably in America because they kidnapped them.
I'm just telling you what the internet's saying.
That's weird. Yeah, no.
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious. Well, I'll tell you what else is suspicious. There was an article that came out. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it is. Apparently, children in the United States have been overdosing on melatonin.
My plan as a mother. Not on purpose. I was also drugged as a child, so I feel like...
You were drugged? Your mom drugged you?
Have I not told you that?
No.
Gather around, children. Here's a fun story. This is why you don't have kids when you're 21. I love you, Mom.
I was going to say, please say you love your mom.
She used to... I was also like undiagnosed ADHD. Who the hell had ADHD in the 90s?
Nobody.
No one. Just a fucking... My Mercury is in Gemini. I'm just a talker. Wouldn't shut the fuck up. My 22-year-old mom at the time would be like... I'm giving you Dimetap. It's time to go to bed.
Dimetap, the grape kind?
Grape Dimetap, bitch.
Grape Dimetap is really
night.
good.
Every night. And the only reason she stopped is because my Nana was babysitting me one night. And I was like, can I have the grape juice? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's time for the grape juice.
Oh my God.
And showed her, and she told my mom, she's like, what are you giving her?
Your grandmother was called CPS.
Yes, basically. My mom was like, she just won't stop talking and she won't go to sleep.
my kid.
Dimetapp every night. That is why I have a drug dependency at this point. I have to take melatonin. I have to take ashwagandha to go to bed. And I swear that is why.
Dimetapp was actually grape juice.
Yo, it was great.
It was good.
Out.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It never put me to sleep, though. It was just good. I used to take swigs of it just because. I wasn't sick. I just liked it. It was good.
It just tastes good.
That's like ODing on your Flintstones. They're good. It's candy.
Oh, Flintstones.
Or gummy vitamins. They're good.
Gummy vitamins.
Definitely.
I still take the gummies.
Gummies are good.
But yeah, I wonder how much melatonin you have to give to a kid for them to overdose.
I've never taken melatonin before.
You've never taken melatonin? Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
But I don't have issues going to sleep.
So my issue isn't staying asleep, it's falling asleep.
Oh, I fall asleep fast.
Like a rock.
You remember at the job, I used to take 10-minute naps. I'd be like, wake me up at 10 minutes. I'd be snoring in there.
That is true, and it was very strange. The world was not stopping around her, and she was out cold.
Yeah, I sure was. Maybe you were snoring. Good. I got a good 10-minute nap.
Yeah, no. So I have to take it to fall. Like, I've never had a problem. Once I'm asleep, I'm asleep. But falling asleep, I can't because, you know when you start to feel kind of tired, and you know you can either power through the tired or you can, let yourself fall. If I don't let myself fall, I'm up.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to have issues staying asleep. Like I would get a good 3-4 hours and then my body would just wake up.
Weird.
And then I think somebody told me, I wasn't my mom or my grandmother. I think it was my mom. She was like, maybe that's God trying to talk to you in the middle of the night. You need to talk to him. I was like, well, I'm actually trying to go back to sleep.
Sorry, God. I'm so sleepy.
Can we talk in our dreams? In my dreams, please? Please, thank you very much. But yeah, the moral of the story, stop giving your kids all this goddamn melatonin. Because I really think that's going to scar them as adults.
But it's natural. You naturally create melatonin.
But it's not natural if you're giving it to them.
It's not natural because we have artificial light. That's why our melatonin's fucked up.
What do you mean?
Melatonin is created by your body naturally depending on like the light and the dark outside. So before artificial
Geostorm?
lights and like electricity, your body would do it naturally. But now that we have light every time we need it, your melatonin cycles are jacked up. That's why you take melatonin. So your body's like, oh, it is nighttime, even though the lights are on. We need to fall asleep.
No, turn off the damn TV at night and put your phone face down.
Ain't gonna work.
You got your phone.
I have to fall asleep with the TV on. That's the problem.
And that's why your melatonin is messed up. I don't even have a TV in my bedroom.
Why? How do you watch shows? You watch it on your phone?
No,
you're on TikTok. It's the same thing.
No. I watch it downstairs or in my loft.
You're not
upstairs.
on TikTok in your bed?
Yes.
It is the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
There's a light. It's the blue light.
But because it's not on all night though. Like when you leave a TV on all night, that disrupts your REM and it disrupts your sleep cycle. And that's horrible for you.
I do wake up at 3 a.m. to turn my TV off.
See what I'm saying?
But I fall right back asleep.
The old TVs back in the day used to have the timers. This is why TV used to go off at midnight.
Oh, I need to turn
and nothing
on my
else
TV
was on.
Timer.
Yeah,
I just like need constant noise.
No, you don't, because then you get overstimulated. That's probably why you get overstimulated so fast in life. You're like, it's too much because you've been watching TV all day. The shit is running on in your head. That's why.
So I daydream so goddamn much. I just have TV streaming constantly.
No, I took my TV out of my bedroom about 4 years ago, and I was like, nope, I'm no longer having a TV in my bedroom. So I don't have a TV in my bedroom at all. If I want to watch an episode or something, I will either watch it downstairs in my living room or I will watch it upstairs in my living room. I
always watch TV downstairs except at bedtime. I don't even watch it. I just need the noise.
No, I don't even need the noise.
But what's funny is that I don't like white noise machines.
I hate white noise.
I fucking hate white noise.
I don't even like sleeping to the sound of rain. I like the feeling that I get, the sleepy tiredness feeling that I get when it's raining, but I don't like the sound of rain because it keeps me up. It's too much noise.
When we were in Peru, so like the two other girls that I was with, because the room would get quiet.
Yeah.
Or it was weird quiet because it's quiet, but there's other people in there, and you're like, it's fucking weird. So I fall asleep with the TV on, but they're like, no, we don't want the TV on, and they're like, we're gonna play white noise. I can't fall asleep with that shit.
No, I have too many vivid dreams.
I'm thinking about it and like, what's that noise? And then I hear something, and I'm like trying to, like zoom and sink in on the weird speaker. I can't do the white noise.
Yeah, I have too many vivid dreams, and my dreams are in color. And I can literally feel in my dreams. So that extraness, no. There's no telling what will show up in my dreams. And I ain't got time for that.
I'm not a white noise gal.
No. I don't even like to listen to ocean sounds at all. Shut the fuck up. Silence. That's it. What were you telling me about a girl with STDs who sued a company or something like that?
A hero amongst the people.
The girl?
The girl.
Jesus.
This woman had intercourse in a car with some, I'm assuming.
I want to have intercourse with you. Relations. You know that song? Okay.
What the fuck are you singing?
There's a song that on TikTok they made.
I've never.
I want to have intercourse with you. It's in like the Stewie voice from Family Guy. Relations. I'll pull it up.
Anyway. Intercourse with some, I'm assuming, nasty ass individual in his car. She contracted a sexually transmitted disease. Okay. This queen took it upon herself to sue Geico, the insurance company who insured the vehicle.
Yeah.
And was like, I contracted an STD and a vehicle you insured. You now owe me millions of dollars. I'm amazed. I'm shocked. I love it.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say she's white.
I don't know.
Gotta be.
I can't confirm nor deny that. But
how do you...
You're doing amazing, sweetie. I would be that pissed too.
How do you go after your insurance company for reckless behavior that you consented to?
With an amazing lawyer.
It got to be Annalise Keating. That sounds like Annalise Keating.
And of course, like, Geico probably will never pay that, and they're still fighting it, all of this shit.
Oh, they're going to put everything in the closets.
But the idea that you were able to sue an insurance company for contracting an STD in a car.
And you didn't sue him.
He ain't got no money. He got an STD.
Okay, here's the...
I want to have intercourse with you. Intercourse with you. Relations.
That's a real song.
Huh, okay.
It's Stewie. The dog. Anyway. Neither here nor there.
All that to say.
That is insane. So, okay. So if I get bit by an ant in my car, I can sue my insurance company then?
No, because you're the one insured, I guess. Listen, I'm not saying I know how it works or why it works. I'm just telling you that it worked.
The fact that she thought about that or some other lawyer thought to do that.
Like, I want to know. I don't want to know what STD it was, but it was in Missouri. $5.2 million payout.
Oh, that lawyer going to take 4.9 million.
Oh, it was HPV. That's a bad one.
But ma'am, that's not the insurance company's fault.
In her ex-boyfriend's car. He must have done some shit to you, lady.
Are we sure she didn't already have HPV?
She was pissed off.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How old she was?
It says no, but Geico. So I think that technically Geico insures people who have been damaged or injured by the vehicle. And because she was injured in the vehicle, that's how she sued.
You didn't have sex with the joystick and it gave you HPV. You had sex with a grown-ass man and he gave you HPV, allegedly.
I would love to hear the conversation in that courtroom. I need to hear what the fuck your lawyer said.
That should have been publicized rather than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Jeez.
But that trial, dude, people... So I'm usually really into true crime and trials, especially when they're live like that. I could not get into the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Was annoying.
It was so annoying.
It was very annoying.
I was like, you guys are just famous and trying to cock block each other and like peacocking up here about who's worse.
Rich people problems.
RPCs.
Like
RPPs. I don't know where the C came from.
You down with OBB? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, that to me, listen, people are dying, Kim.
People are dying. Like
mass shootings.
She is unwell. He is unwell.
He looked very sane to me.
No, he did, but I think he's like a lot of abuse issues, mental health issues. She's a nut. Y'all are two broken people who found each other and used each other, and now you're in court so we can all see it. Chill out.
I just think.
Also, Aquaman was trash.
I never saw it.
Don't see it.
Jack Sparrow is amazing, and I'm pissed that...
What movie is she in that we all care about Amber Heard?
He got her Aquaman. So, and I'm pissed that they took away Jack Sparrow because that was a beloved character.
Truly. That's honestly the loss. And Fantastic Beasts was shit without him.
I never saw Fantastic.
You don't need to. He's not in it anymore.
Yeah, that sucks.
All that to say.
Well, I did want to talk about a particular issue, kind of like, this is kind of in the rehab corner. We're moving a little bit.
We love a rehab corner.
Actually, you know what? Before we go there, what have you been watching?
Let me tell you.
That's what I'm asking.
First of all, I want to launch a formal complaint.
Against who?
I hate to be this girl.
But I'm going to be
this girl. I have loved Miles Teller for probably 10 years.
Okay.
Love the man. Seen all the movies with him. At the beginning of COVID, my roommate had not seen all of his movies, so I physically wrote them on a dry erase board next to check mark boxes.
I cannot.
I made her watch all of them because it was that important.
I cannot with you.
So now that he's in Top Gun, the entire world is obsessed, and I won't stand for it. Where were you guys? Where have you been? A national treasure, that boy. Truly.
You don't own him.
You
don't own me.
You know.
First Class Club, amazing movie. Anyway,
I love First Wife. I'm so glad you brought that up. Sorry to pivot. We love a First Wives Club over here. Oh, Goldie Hawn, come on.
Amazing.
It made me want to get divorced.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I'm just saying, I'm
love
open
the
to it now.
sisterhood of it.
We do love a sisterhood.
Love the sisterhood.
Fucking love First Wives Club.
They need to redo that, like a First Wives Club,
or like
2
a
to
black
see where they
First
are.
Wives Club.
That would be awesome.
That'd be a good
That
one.
would be definitely awesome. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Miles Teller, truly a treasure. I love him, been obsessed with him. I don't know why everyone's doing the porn stash now, just because of him. Like, the porn stash was never a thing. It will not be a thing. It just looks good on him because he's famous and in a movie where he's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone should stop doing the porn stash. But Top Gun is really good. If you haven't seen it, Lawrence,
is that the same Top Gun that was from that Tom Cruise did?
Yes, this is
like part 2.
Did you ever see the first Top Gun?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. You know how Goose dies?
Yeah.
That's a spoiler. If you haven't seen it at this point, I don't know what to tell you. It's the oldest
movie came out 30 years ago?
Truly. So this is about Tom Cruise has fucked everyone over in the military, and
so he's in it.
Tom Cruise is in it.
I was gonna say, how are you gonna make Top Gun without him?
He's in it. He's a big part. They send him back to Top Gun to teach because there's like this unflyable mission. He's the only one who can do it.
Okay.
Goose's son has now worked his way up, and he is in Top Gun. And so there's like 16 pilots, and they're gonna narrow it down to 4. So they're kind of in this training situation, and Tom Cruise is teaching them.
Okay. Wow.
And it's really good. But supposedly, it was like $10,000 an hour for them to rent these planes from the government. It took them 6 months to get all the cameras set up in these planes so that they could actually record while they were flying. And it took 3 months, I think, for them to get all the actors used to the force of the planes.
This is why I say we are in the Matrix, because where do you get money from to do that?
I know.
It's got to be an IOU. NFTs.
We're good. We'll make it back.
Yeah, we'll make it back.
An NFT. Yeah, that'd be good.
What?
But
this world is not real.
It wasn't predictable like I thought it was going to be. It wasn't cheesy like I thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's good.
The music is good. The cinematography is great. The plot was great. Yeah, it was really good.
That's awesome.
And I love Miles Teller. Also, Lawrence from Insecure is in it. That's all I needed.
Wow.
JL's.
Cool beans. Well, as long as he's not being an asshole to Issa Rae, I'm cool.
He isn't. He's not even an asshole in the movie. He's perfect. What else am I watching? Hustle on Netflix
that
with
was
Adam
really
Sandler.
good. And Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah.
Definitely didn't believe that was his wife, but
no, the most platonic marriage I've ever seen in my entire life.
I was like, I believe the whole interracial couple, but I was just like, Queen Latifah and Adam Sandler? Like, no.
It's 2 goofs.
Yeah.
2 goofs would never.
It's almost like if her and what's his name, Jimmy Fallon would have been married.
Yeah, and you're like, no, I don't buy it. No.
Definitely not.
I told her earlier, it was very much giving if you're not married by 30, we'll get married. Like, safeguarding, best friends safeguarding their marriage plans. Yeah.
But I would love to see a movie with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon where they are like love interests.
What was it,
that
Taxi?
Would be hilarious. Taxi was the best movie.
I fucking love that movie.
But imagine if they would have had a romantic relationship. Hilarious.
I almost believe Steve Martin and Queen Latifah more than anyone. You know what I mean?
They need to do another movie again.
Because Bringing Down the House,
amazing.
Amazing.
Classic.
God,
we love it over here. We absolutely love it. But yeah, Hustle was really good. I hadn't seen a basketball movie like that probably ever.
It made me believe in I watched Love and Basketball recently.
Yeah.
And
was that your first time watching them?
No,
okay.
No. I watched it again recently.
Gotcha.
Not that this was the same, but it gave me kind of the little heart flutter for basketball again that movie did.
Yeah.
Because I don't fuck with basketball like I used to ever since the bubble. I just lost it, never went back to it.
Yeah.
But it
was a good movie.
It's like how Friday Night Lights made you appreciate football a little bit more.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I see the work that goes into it and how much these people give everything. I like that the main character wasn't from the U.S. I'm very much about international
and his
people.
Storyline too. I think it was
so
really, really wonderful. Yeah,
that was a really good.
And
movie.
they used real basketball players.
Best part,
So it was a really, really well written movie.
It's like it was a fun movie.
Yeah, definitely. I did see that. Yeah, I also saw the Martin reunion. So Martin.
Damn, Gina.
Yes. And, so they had it was on BET Plus. They had their reunion. It was like an hour and a half long special where they basically just kind of went down memory lane of like some of their best episodes and how certain things came to be and all that kind of stuff. And they revealed some things of the actual show, like some secrets behind the show and stuff like that.
Was everyone there?
Everyone except for Tommy Ford, unfortunately, because he died a couple years ago. But they did pay tribute to him and showed like some of his best work there. His wife and his 2 kids spoke at like they split it where they went to like a funeral kind of memorial service or whatever. And they all 4 of them gave like speeches about him. His wife, his children were there, and then gospel artist Leandria Johnson, she sung. And it was really beautiful though, but it made you like, it almost kind of pissed me off a little bit because it's like, why don't we have shows like this anymore? Yeah. Like Martin was a show, like I remember the lineup. It was Thursday nights on Fox. You had Martin came on at 8 o'clock a.m. 8 o'clock p.m.
Whoa.
And then
horrible time slot.
And then Living Single came on at 8:30. Then at 9 o'clock was New York Undercover.
That is the lineup.
And then it got to a point where I think Living Single's ratings actually was better than Martin as Martin started to phase out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Living Single came on at 8 o'clock and then Martin came on at 8:30. But just to be able to have shows like that where you made sure that you were at home when those shows came on.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's like that doesn't happen anymore because everything is just so streamed and you can have it all at one time, which is why, again, going back to Beyonce, I appreciate the fact that she makes people wait for her music. Even Rihanna, you gotta wait for it.
That's why, yeah. Disney Plus is doing that a little more too. And Netflix, more of Netflix shows are coming out weekly.
Even Issa Rae, I think it was, I don't know if it was her idea or if it was HBO's idea to have it weekly, but it makes
when I was waiting for those Insecure episodes.
Yeah.
That was like biting my fingers.
Absolutely. But also too, what's coming out, the third season of Umbrella Academy is coming out. I want to say it came out on the 17th. That's coming out. Also too, I did start to watch, there are 2 documentaries that I'm in the middle of watching.
Is it the J-Lo documentary? Everyone's watching it.
Why do I want to watch a documentary on her? I remember when she first came out as a flat girl on what's the thing? In Living Color. So I've kind of known
she was on In Living Color.
Yeah, she was a flat girl. She was a dancer. That's how she started.
Huh.
Yeah, she didn't start acting. She was a flat girl. Nobody knew J-Lo.
Well, I just thought she started by stealing Ashanti's voice.
No, she was a flat girl in Living Color. Nobody knew her. She was one of the flat girls. She was a great dancer, and then she ended up doing some other stuff. But yeah,
Made in Manhattan. Selena.
Yeah, but I think Selena definitely put her on the map.
Dude, we were having this conversation the other day. We don't think me and my coworkers.
Yeah.
Don't think J-Lo would be as famous as she was had Selena not died.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just like, I feel like even like Sierra would not be as popular, and I don't think her career would have been the same had Aaliyah never died. Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. But the one movie that I'm watching is Our Father, which is on Netflix. Ooh. Y'all, this is about a fertility doctor at that, who literally inseminated his patients with his own semen, and it's like 80-something kids out there that he's fathered, and that's why it's called Our Father. But they're talking to the actual people who went through it, also to the children that were born as a result of this, and how this one lady just started trying to look for her siblings, and literally they all linked together, and it was just like, what the hell? Then there's another one that's called Keep Sweet, Pray, and something else.
Eat Sweet Pray or Keep Sweet Pray?
Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey. That's what it's called. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey. But it's about Jeff Warren, who was the leader of FLDS, which is basically this huge alleged polygamist community. I won't say an alleged for the protection of our podcast, but we know what he did. This man had over 80 children. I think he had like 14, 15 wives or something like that. But then he would sleep with the younger girls allegedly. Oh, it was disgusting. But it's a very good documentary to watch because people are weird. But anyway,
I just watched it's called Thank You Leo Grand on Hulu. It's this strangely cute movie about this like 70-year-old woman who's been a widow, and she hires this like sex worker, cute like 29-year-old, very attractive man to have sex with. And
Spicy.
I know. The movie is basically just like them in a hotel room. It's really just like this movie about intimacy and people of different ages and what it's like for people, like sex now versus what it was 40 years ago, and how different it is, and how people, like, what do you do after your spouse passes away, and getting to know people and letting down. It was very interesting. I didn't think it was going to be, it was really cute, actually.
Oh, that's good.
It makes you think about stuff.
Yeah.
The guy from Peaky Blinders is in it. It's really originally why I watched it, because Peaky Blinders season 6 is on Netflix. I know we've all been waiting.
I'm not gonna be able to watch it because I can't go back that far.
Come on, it's so good. It's so good. Once you get past the 3rd episode of the 1st season, it's smooth sailing. You can't turn it off.
I can't go back that far.
I was looking in the lull of all these shows, because I feel like in the last week all these shows have come out.
Yeah.
And all these movies, but in the lull I was looking for something to watch. I started Snowfall.
Oh, Snowfall is I heard it was really good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Wow, I just like drug shows, I guess, these days.
Yeah, I definitely heard it was really good.
But it's really good. It's about basically this
Drugs.
kid who brings crack to LA.
Yeah. They're on there. I think they're only going to do 5 seasons.
Of that?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's on Breakfast Club a few months ago.
He is such a good actor.
He is, but I think they were saying that I think they are only going to do it for 5 seasons because he was talking about, I don't think it was ever intended to be that long, because what else can you do? He's going to get caught selling drugs at some point.
Yeah, and it's an FX show. Like, no FX show lasts that long.
Yeah, I think a lot of these shows are only going to be like 5 seasons.
Yeah.
You can't keep dragging it out. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good one if you're looking for something. I'd always heard about it. I had it on my list, never watched it.
Yeah.
Finally have, and I give it my seal of approval.
Cool beans. Well, let's head on over to the Rehab Corner. All right, so the Rehab Corner, we're talking about 2 things specifically that are specific to rehab.
Specifically, yeah.
Which is why we call it the Rehab Corner. So the first thing is Mark Cuban, who is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and he is a multi-millionaire, billionaire, whatever. He also is one of the co-hosts of Shark Tank. He actually created his own pharmacy, and in an attempt to, and in hopes to drive down the prices of a lot of these medications that are surging prices, such as EpiPens, insulin, Synthroid, the list goes on and on and on and on. Which I think is amazing that he's using his money for good. Like, that's what you do as a millionaire or multimillionaire. Truly. Like, this one person was saying that with insurance, she takes a particular thyroid medication, and it's like $120 for her refill every month. But when she looked up the drug on Mark Cuban's website, on his pharmacy website, it's only going to cost her $6 without insurance.
Because insulin isn't expensive to produce.
It's not. It costs less than $5 to make.
God.
So, I think that's amazing that he's doing it. The only thing that I worry about and fear for him is Big Pharma coming after him in an attempt to do that, or I see them potentially
selling it on Shark Tank.
Yeah, well, no, I think I also see them potentially kind of collaborating with insurance companies, and insurance companies not allowing you to go to that particular pharmacy because it's not accredited or it's not FDA approved or some shit. They'll find a loophole or something like that.
As much as it pains me to give props to Mark Cuban, I will give props where props are due.
Because puro pinche, dude.
Because puro pinche. There's just like
San Antonio.
I don't know why every time I hear his name, I get 2005 flashbacks. Like me as a chunky 5th grader, him on the TV just talking mad shit about the Spurs, and I was like, I hate him. And that's just ingrained in me.
And now he's gonna probably give you your ADHD
and
medication
now he'll
for
probably give me my Vyvanse for $1. So like,
exactly.
Mark Cuban, but
win-win.
Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Well, whatever.
Go Spurs, go. Yeah. Va Spurs, va.
Yeah, okay. No mas.
That is really interesting. Why don't more millionaires do shit like that?
Because they care about themselves and we're in a matrix.
I guess, yeah.
And probably, too, they don't want to piss off Big Pharma because then they'll come after you and try to kill you.
That is true. Did you see Dr. Fauci has COVID?
Really? I'm surprised he's got it after all this time. I thought he probably don't got it. He probably just saying that just so people are like,
he just has allergies.
Exactly. Like, he didn't get it the whole time. He got, he's immune to it. No, it's the same way as Trump. Trump ain't have it.
Don't trust the government, allegedly. People.
They can't be trusted. Listen, we don't have tampons. Why would you trust the government who won't give us tampons?
How do you run out of
even baby formula, and then you won't let other countries give us baby formula.
Well, and then everyone acts a fool and buys 97 cans of baby formula.
Exactly.
What is wrong with you people?
I should have said this on part 1. Did you hear that China, the president of China, right? Or is the president of China.
The king of China.
The emperor of China. this wonderful child of God literally filed like a complaint with the UN Council to charge the United States of America with endangering acts against humanity or whatever because of all the mass shootings. I said, China, you would do that?
Of all people,
sir, sweep around your own front door. I was like,
you're not wrong.
But thank you.
You're just not in the right.
But you're funding a whole war, sir, right now with Russia, allegedly. But I just thought it was very weird. Anyway, last topic that we want to talk about is a topic that was unbeknownst to us as therapists. Again, I'm a physical therapist. Alyssa's an occupational therapist. And there was this issue that happened with Lizzo recently in the news. Lizzo is an amazing singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, all that good stuff, right?
Body positive influencer.
I love her. And she just came out with a new athleisure wear line called Yitty. Anyway,
Yitty.
Yeah, I actually want to buy some stuff from it, but I won't be wearing a thong like her. But anyway, so she dropped the album, another album or song, rather, a single called Girls. And in the beginning of the song, she has been accused of using an ableist slur or a disability slur, where she basically says the word spaz, S-P-A-Z-Z, like spaz. I'm about to spaz out. That's literally what she says. So it was just like crazy on the internet where people were just like, I can't believe Lizzo would say this slur. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell did Lizzo say? Because Lizzo is one of the most conscious, singer-songwriters who is very inclusive. And I was like, what did she say? And so I had to really search Twitter to figure out what she said, because a lot of people were just like, oh, that ain't no fucking slur. Shut the fuck up. This is stupid. And I was like, well, you can't tell the community who the slur affects.
Who it's offending.
That it's not a slur. So anyway, apparently using the word spaz to spaz out is connected to, I guess, misrepresentation of people who suffer from spastic type issues or spasm, like cerebral palsy or multiple sclerosis or any other type of...
But how am I supposed to know that?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. There was this young lady, I saw this tweet, which I think she wrote it so very... Well, let me just say this first before I go there. So the slur was brought to Lizzo's attention, and Lizzo decided to take accountability and apologize because she wasn't aware. She said it was brought to her attention. She wasn't aware that it was a slur. And what she did was she changed the lyric in the song, which was only at the very beginning. So the actual song itself was fine. It was just a little intro. She was like, yeah, I'm about to spaz out. So she took that part of the song out of it and re-released it or whatever, or edited it. So people were like, oh yeah, I'm fine now. Thanks. But I'm like, you called her like a whole fucking piece of shit when she didn't even know.
She didn't know. It's a different country.
And that's the thing too. So this one young lady on Twitter, her name is Clementine, but at Fairy Femme.
That's cute. Clementine's a cute
and
name.
She's a black lady. Clemmy. She says, I think the situation with Lizzo using spaz needs to be a conversation led by disabled black Americans. She put in parentheses, I want to make note that I am a black disabled person, in parentheses. She says, a lot of people dominating the conversation are white and disabled, as well as mostly from the UK. Yet spaz, very important to note, that is that in an AAVE or an African American vernacular English is with two Z's and has a completely different meaning, not based in the UK. With Lizzo being an American, it's unlikely that she knew that a term that knew of the term primarily used in the UK. In African American vernacular English, spaz communicates that something is irritating or annoying. When non-black people are consuming black music and culture, it often gets lost in translation, and it doesn't help that AAVE gets misused and appropriated on the daily by non-blacks. I said, sister, you better read.
Amen. men.
And I'm glad that she brought that up as a Black disabled person, that certain things have different meanings. And the fact that I think in America, people say spaz all the time, but not talking about people or picking at people who have spastic disorders.
I never knew.
Never knew that either.
That was a derogatory term.
I say it all the time.
She's a spaz. We say it all the time.
This patient's spazzing out. Like, oh my God.
I also feel like there's a lot of times you get more noise from the people not inside of the group that are quote unquote offended.
Yeah.
And they're making the loudest noise.
Absolutely.
That's what annoys me.
Yeah.
If it's offensive, then the people who are inside of that group or affected by it, you are allowed to say whatever the fuck you want to say. Everyone else shut the fuck up.
Exactly. But also too, there was a lot of chatter, specifically by this one creator on TikTok that I follow. Her name is Imani, I think. And so she has cerebral palsy. And she's 30 years old, Black woman. First of all, oh my God, great orator, right? Like, she has a degree in communications. I love the way she speaks. Anyway, but she brought it, when I went on her page to actually see what was going on with Lizzo and this whole situation, she kept talking about the ableist community. And I'm like, what is ableism, right? Because as a therapist, I think that there are so many new terms that are coming up that we literally can't keep up with. Like, you know, this quote unquote idea of what normal is. We know that normal is a social construct. We get that. There's no such thing as normal. It's just socially, if you have more people that are at this particular level, then that's considered normal or the norm. Exactly. So she kept saying, you know, this is an ableist slur. And I'm like, so an ableist is someone who is able to do something. But why are people who are able to do something looked at as in a derogatory way or a derogatory manner? And then it's like, oh, it's an ableist slur. But how can it be? I get it, what you're saying, that it is a slur, and I'm acknowledging that it is a slur. But now that it's been brought to so many people's attention, because I think even in her comments, people were like, I never knew that word was an actual slur.
Because it's across the pond.
Right. And again, just like the young lady said, Clementine, she was like, this is an AAVE term that we use, and it has a completely different
It's not like a hard
term.
R, where universally everyone knows what that means. Or the R word, or anything like that.
Or even saying the M word when you're talking about little people.
Yeah.
You know, like that, they can say that themselves. Like, there are certain slurs that you can say if you're in the population. So for example,
known popular slur.
Right. So Black people saying the N word. Because we took the word and now it means something different. Even Hispanics using slurs with them. I've heard other Hispanic coworkers calling themselves WBs before in a joking manner. I would never say that because I'm not a part of the culture. I'm not a part of that particular group of people. I cannot say that because it is a slur when it comes out of my mouth. But I think that this needs to be I don't know necessarily a larger conversation, but I think this is going to start putting creatives like Lizzo in a box. And I hate it because it's like, you're expecting these people on these platforms to know everything about everybody, and that's not possible because you yourself don't know everything about everybody. Just like we are therapists who work in the rehab, literally the rehab era or spectrum, and we work with disabled people. That's literally our whole career is working with disabled people. So the fact that we didn't know that was a slur, like, I'm quite sure there are a lot of other people who didn't know that was actually a slur. But the fact that people were like coming for her head, like, you should have known better. How? Like, genuine question. How do you know?
You would have to know everything all the time.
Exactly. Which is not
I'm
possible.
just conflicted because on one hand, I'm thinking this is how things should be handled. You offended this group of people. It was an easy fix for you.
Yeah.
You took it out of the song you re-released.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, I'm like, why did she need to do that?
Exactly.
She didn't mean any harm.
She didn't even know.
She didn't know. In the country she is from, the language that she speaks, it does not mean anything harmful.
Absolutely.
It's a money thing. Like, you have this population here. You have, what do they call it? A demographic. And you're offending them, and that's money.
Yeah.
So it was smart for you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was just like, when does it stop then?
Right, because every creative now is going to have to go through every Google search of every word that they say, and now it's going to be, everything that they say is going to be policed now. Let's be very clear. The rapper Future, has said the F word, FAGGOTT. He has said that
with his chest.
And
whole
music.
chest.
And they play it in clubs, on the radio, with everything.
With a fist pump.
And when you hear it now, you're like, did he really say that? Ain't nobody cancel him? Ain't nobody ask him to change it? And if they did, he probably wouldn't do it anyway. You know what I mean? But
also an FAG across the pond is a cigarette. And
really?
I swear. And an FAG over here
is very derogatory. That's what I'm saying.
Let me fact check myself.
Yes,
before
please do. I'll block it out if I need to. But yeah, I mean, I even think I was watching this old Breakfast Club interview with Selena Johnson.
Yeah, it's a cigarette.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, it's cultural.
It's context though, also too. Like I'm glad that this young lady said that was a term that is used in the UK. But if Americans feel offended by it, like, again, I can't tell you what to be offended by, and I would never try to tell you, well, that's not a slur. I didn't know it was a slur because I know what we use it as. You're not talking about having a spasm on the floor as a person who has a cerebral palsy or a specific spasticity disorder. But we're talking about you're just going crazy or having a good time.
Isn't the intent behind the word what makes it a slur? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
To a degree, depending on what the slur is.
Yeah.
But in that context, that's a very different slur because I didn't know it was a slur. Again, as a physical therapist, I've never heard that. And I'm not going to diminish it or try to invalidate it because it's hurtful to a group and a demographic.
Yeah, and that's not what we're debating.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think y'all needed to come for her neck because she didn't know what the hell it meant. She wasn't using it in a derogatory way. Even
when I was saying about the Breakfast Club interview with Selena Johnson, who is a Black American female R&B singer, right? So in the very beginning of her career, she worked with R. Kelly. And R. Kelly was R. Kelly was a very big influence in her music, and he helped her really get on. So one of her first singles was "I'm Your Woman," and it featured R. Kelly. I think he co-wrote it or whatever. Anyway, so the fact that she recorded this song 25 years ago, something like that, and now all of this stuff comes out with him. And she's like, in America, she doesn't sing that song because of, unfortunately, the ties that she has to R. Kelly. But when she goes over to Africa, which she has a huge, following and a huge supporter, they love that song because there's a part in the song that says, "Treat me, I'm your woman, so treat me as such." She's like, I can't not sing it when I go to Africa because they love that, and that's an anthem for them. But then if I sing it in America, now I'm supporting R. Kelly. You know what I mean? But it's like, he did that 20 years ago. So how am I being, blamed for something that I didn't know happened? It wasn't me that did it. He just helped write the music, So she was just talking about how she was in a conflicted place. But it's very similar to this situation where, again, your creativity and you flowing and being able to be free to create. Now you're going to be, all these artists are now going to be confined to this box because everybody's going to take every word that you say and try to make it some way where it's a slur.
Or it means something that
different.
It doesn't. Yeah,
exactly. Or that they didn't intend for it to mean. So I think that's, again, I can't tell you what to be offended by. I don't think as a African American woman who has used that term to describe something, a situation like, oh, we about to be lit.
But lit in Croatia means stupid person without a foot.
Right.
And you're like, how would I have known that? I've never been to Croatia. I don't know anybody from Croatia.
No. Well, we know one person.
Do we?
Yeah.
Who's from Croatia?
Your previous supervisor. She's Croatian.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. She went there. She has a whole album of pictures.
Didn't know.
It's beautiful. She said the food was good too. Anyway, but yeah.
All that to say. Love Lizzo.
Yeah, but like you said, I love the fact that she acknowledged it and she changed it. But I hate that she had to change.
And that's on the bag.
I
really do think that's on a bag. She's also very sweet. It could have just been like, I didn't mean to offend these people.
Absolutely.
It's all money. That's why I think half the celebrities in Hollywood don't come out as gay. It's money. They think they'll offend demographics, like these Chinese huge demographics, these Middle Eastern demographics that are like no gays. That's why they don't come out as gay.
But if you're in America, it's very different because everybody, I won't say everybody, but a lot of different cultures embrace the gay in America.
In America, yes, but they're everywhere is listening to your music.
That's very true.
And America's a small market compared to everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, that's just like even people would say like different male R&B singers, they will tell them, don't tell people that you're married or that you're in a relationship because now it's demographic. Yeah. But I mean, I do think that was a genuine decision by Lizzo to say, I'm the one that always talks about, you know, being offended as a heavier set black woman in America. So how can I be a hypocrite and say that this doesn't affect?
Exactly. You gotta walk the walk.
Exactly. I just fear that this situation is going to brew a monster, and it's going to unfortunately silence a lot of creatives who have no clue what these words are.
It will, but I hope it's cyclical. I hope that we had so many years of everyone saying dumb, stupid, offensive shit, and people growing up saying like, "Wow, I wish someone would just tell them like this is stupid and offensive." Yeah. Now we're so overly sensitized to like, "Oh, they said this. Oh, they did that. Oh, you should know better." And I hope that we like dull out a little bit. Yeah. From we like the pendulum swings the other way.
And to have the expectation, like, stop having an expectation that everybody should know certain things, especially if it's not, again, like you said, if they're across the water and they're in a totally different country and it means something totally different. I'm not going to know what the slang is. That's just like even certain slang that Mexicans use versus Puerto Ricans. Mm-hmm. Like certain words that they use may be meaning something totally different in Mexico and meaning something different in Puerto Rico. But so are you going to get mad? Like, no, that's what it means here where I am.
Well, that's what, being an educated person, you just, I don't know, Google. Like, if I knew an FAG, if I knew that word meant that in Europe and meant something else here, if I heard a song by a European artist and I heard that word, I would assume, oh, they meant it as this. If I heard a song by an American artist saying that word, I would assume, oh, they meant it as this.
Yeah, but you're not going to always do a Google search on something. Like, that's not realistic. Because you just told me that FAG in some other place is, but I would have because I don't use the word FAGGOTT, I would never Google that to say, well, what does this mean in this country? Like, no one would ever do that.
You should be an educated citizen then.
Well, I am educated. I don't use that shit here in America. And because I don't use it here in America, I'm not going to use it nowhere else because I know how offensive it is. And if I did go over, where did you say it was the same? Europe. If I go over to Europe and I heard somebody say that, I'll be like, excuse me? That's disrespectful, bitch. And they'll be like, I'm talking about a bloody cigarette, bitch. Like,
that's what? Exactly how they talk.
And then I would Google it to say.
And then you'd Google it.
And I'd be like, I'm sorry, sir, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
No. I don't think we're trying to get an answer. We're just stating
shooting the shit here.
Exactly. But yeah, I just think that that's unfortunate that happened. I'm glad that she was able to, again, rectify the situation. But I feel like that's going to open up a whole nother can of worms. Even on the Miss Pat show, they had an episode like that where they talked about uncomfortable words where she used a particular slur to describe Asian people, and she used the R word, and it was done in context. It was done to basically show them. She's like, okay, well, I'm a generation beyond y'all, like, or 2 generations beyond
Which
y'all.
It does get sticky, because how are you going to tell someone who's grown up, maybe not using the word, but just knowing that a word wasn't, like, there was a negative connotation, but there wasn't always the, what is it called? The consequence that there is today. Yeah. That's hard. To be like, don't use that word anymore because everyone,
Well, we see it in the medical chart sometimes when they say,
oh, I hate when they do that.
Mental R. And you're like, you're a doctor. Why don't you know not to use that? But then you look at them and you're like, you're a 70-something-year-old doctor. Where that word, that was the only word that they used.
Because then you're saying, it's the same thing where like, I mean, you could say the same thing with like sexual abuse. Like, oh, you did these kinds of things 20 years ago, but we wouldn't accept that now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So am I just supposed to say like, oh, we won't charge you with things now because that's 20 years ago? Or like, no, just because you did it 20 years ago, you still need to face consequences now. I don't know.
Even with like stump and residual limb. I hate when people use the word stump.
I saw stump the other day and I was like, can we grow up?
Seriously.
It's residual
limb. Like, stop it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But then patients call their residual limbs their stumps, and you're like,
that's true,
but I hate it.
But it would be like, what if, I'm trying to think, what if like bing bong, bing bong, what if we're all bing bong now, bing bong, fuck your life? What if like in 20 years
bing bong is a slur?
Bing bong is something crazy, and we're still like bing bong randomly, and people are like, you can't. I would be
and
like,
they play this back, look how many times they said it.
I know. And I'd be like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna say bing, you know what I mean? That's hard.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a go between of, do you change it or do you just say and be like Future, fuck y'all, I'm gonna make music because I want to make music.
There's 2 types of people.
Lizzo and Future.
There's Lizzos and Futures.
And they are not the same.
No. Future said it with his whole ass chest.
Yo, and kept saying, I was like, Future, you know you said this more than once, right?
He's like, I know who I make music for.
And they don't mind.
And
I'm
don't
like,
mind.
ooh.
You know your audience.
That's very
So,
true.
bing bong.
And it ain't stop no check.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. It's woo, jeez. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what we wanted to talk about in the what you call it. Oh, speaking of one thing that I did listen to, I listened to an audiobook. I did not read it because I don't like to read.
We are all very proud.
Listen, y'all, if y'all want to listen to a really good book or read a really good book, it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Octavia Butler, Parable of a Sower. Y'all, I listened to this book in 2 days.
Wow, I didn't know you did that fast.
And it was 12 hours.
Jeez.
And the lady who, I don't know, you probably were too young to remember this. The lady who narrated Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, the TV show Black Lady.
I know Carmen Sandiego.
Yes. So she also played in Lean on Me as the one who, like, the antagonist.
Lean on me.
Who was like, she looks like she always had stuff in her cheeks.
We want Mr. Clark.
Right. So she was the antagonist in the movie. But anyway, she narrates it, and it's by Octavia Butler. I think the book was written in 1995. An amazing, amazing book. It's almost like a cross between like the Book of Eli and The Walking Dead, but it starts in 2024, y'all. Oh my God, this is an amazing
coming up,
book.
2024.
It's an amazing book, and she's a Black woman as well too. So support Octavia Butler. She's no longer alive, unfortunately. She died, I think, in the early 2000s.
I was thinking of Octavia Spencer
No.
when you said that earlier.
No,
that's why I
she
said
doesn't
the
write
help.
books.
I know. That's why I was like, she does it all.
When you said The Help, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She didn't write that.
Octavia Butler is like, oh, The Help was so good.
That's why I paused.
I was like, she does it all. She acts.
No.
She fucking writes.
Definitely different person. Octavia Butler is a world-renowned, respected author, and Octavia Spencer is a world-renowned, respected actress. Two different Black women, but both named Octavia. Yes, I see how you can be confused.
Ooh, see how confusing that was?
No.
I hope no one comes for me in the comments.
They won't.
Man, I do love Octavia Spencer, though.
Octavia Spencer's an amazing actress. Amazing actress.
She just doesn't write books.
No, Octavia Butler does.
Okay, thank you.
Or she did write books,
I
rather.
appreciate that.
But anyway, Parable of a Sower, an amazing book. If you want to listen to it on Audible, it's about 12 hours, but it's an easy read. It's a very easy listen to. It's an easy listen. That's all I'm saying. But I didn't read it because I don't like to read. Anyway, neither here nor there. Anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I'm happy to be back.
I'm happy we're back too. Thank y'all again for being patient with us. Thank you for letting us get a day off, get a couple weeks off to be able to just rest and do nothing.
Y'all pray for me because the summer is hella busy. Everyone's getting married and having bachelorette parties.
Do you even have any PTO?
No. Bitch, no.
That's why they need to pray for you to get you to
Yes,
find
that's
some
why you
PTO.
need to. It's like I'm begging and pleading. What does it say? You steal from Peter to pay Paul. That's what
rob Peter to pay Paul.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing with my PTO, ladies and gentlemen.
Beans.
But we're going to make it. It's going to be fine.
Absolutely.
If anything, it's content.
Absolutely, definitely. We need more stories. But hopefully not you getting stuck anywhere. But,
No. We're not going to do that. Mexico's next on the list. I refuse to be stuck in Mexico.
Well, at least you're right there at Texas, so you can get
That's
back in the
true.
country.
That's the
pretty
easy. That's
Just
the bus.
Rent a car. Yeah, just get on the bus and got your passport.
Donkey bus. I could do anything.
Exactly.
You're right.
Well, happy Father's Day to all those amazing
Happy
fathers out
Father's
there.
Day to all the fathers.
Also, to happy Juneteenth to every Black and African American person. Celebrate, enjoy, call into work on Monday if you need to. Again,
if you have the PTO.
Even if you don't have a PTO, call
Fuck
in.
it.
Call in and don't do no work the rest
Call
of the month.
Tyrone.
Absolutely, don't do no work for the rest of the month because you are old.
Juneteenth. And we're red for the blood.
That's right. We don't have red, but I have strawberries in my little water, so that's
There you
red
go.
for the blood. But yeah, I hate that anyway.
I hate it too. I don't know why that's a thing. Why don't we wear red for the blood?
I think because a particular person who said it, and I was like,
Oh, true.
Can you not?
But we watched the High on the Hog,
Yes.
and they said we're red for the blood. Or they were like, they did the red cake for the blood.
They did. The red
I
velvet.
just
yeah.
don't.
I don't
why?
like it. The fact that blood had to be shed anyway was disgusting. But anyway, we are glad that we are here. So anyway, y'all have an amazing week on purpose. Remember to spread love.
Spread light.
And don't forget to
laugh your face off. It is almost 11 o'clock. I have got to go home. You're gonna hurt yourself.
I know, right? Are you fucking my back falling out of the damn Did I tell you I fell out of what you call it?
You fell?
Yeah.
Out of the what? Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.